Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel and to the Ultimate Racing League, and thanks for joining me again for race 2 of the League of Champions Sunday Championship. And we are still in Germany at the Nurbergring on the Grand Prix circuit. And as you can see, if you're looking at the screen now, it is very grey, it is very dark, it is very wet, and it's definitely intermediate tyres time. So this should be a lot of fun. It is 15 laps around this circuit, and in these conditions it could throw up all sorts of shenanigans, so really looking forward to this one. It is a reverse grid, so we will run down the order without any further waffle from me. We've got Grasshopper now sitting on pole, we've got Sideways George in second, Smith is third, Toten fourth, Derg is fifth, Kenny is 6th, Fitzy 7th, Neil Farmack is 8th, Toby 9th, Callum is 10th, and Bailey is now 11th on the grid after his win in race 1. So, as I say, without any further waffle from me, let's get this race underway. It is a rolling start. You can see the spray coming off the cars and the rain is falling quite heavily. If you keep your eye on the indicator in the very bottom left next to the timer, that will tell you how wet the track is, and that's showing that it's not that bad at the minute, although it does look it, as Grasshopper takes us into turn 1, already being challenged by Sideways George, who goes very deep, as does one of the Red Bulls. It may have been Toten or Derg, I don't know, but Toten is into third, Derg in fourth. It's going to all get very messy around here as Derg has a bit of a touch with his teammate Toten. They are all still going, I was going to say they're going the right way, but Sideways has pulled over. And now I'm not sure if he's just getting out of the way. He doesn't like all this shenanigans going on around him. No, he did drift very, very wide, didn't he? And he's decided to pull over so that he's not in anybody's way. So that's allowed Grasshopper to get away. Toten now into second with Derg just behind. He's got Fitzy for company. Fitzy has got Neil Farmack all over the back of him already. Callum has made his way up into 6th. Let's go on board with Callum. He's going to go the long way round with Neil. He can't get it done there. As he looks in the mirror, he's got Toby all over the back of Callum. The wipers are really going for it so these guys can see. But Callum looking for a way past Neil Farmack. He has another look at the inside. Is he going to get it done here? Oh, now then, was there a little touch there? I don't know. We are all still going, so let's just keep going, shall we? Neil Farmack manages to stay in front. Callum doing everything he can to get by. He's also got some defending to do. Pulls now to the inside as they go through turn 12 of the incline towards the chicane for the first time. Hard on the brakes, trying to get the car slowed down in these conditions. A bit tough, but it looks like Callum's done it. Callum's got himself in front of Neil Farmack. Excuse me. Neil Farmack fighting back though. Neil Farmack's got Toby all over the back of him. You can just see Bailey in the background as well in 8th. So down the hill they go towards turn 1 for the second time. Now it's a case of can they get these cars slowed down too wide through turn 1 with Neil and Toby. Callum just managing to keep ahead of these guys. Oh, Neil makes a mistake, or does he? Let's just have a look. I blinked, so I couldn't see what happened there. Was there a touch from Toby? Or did Neil just get it wrong? And I think Neil just got it wrong. A very rare mistake from Neil Farmack, but that has cost him quite a few spaces. He rejoins and has a bit of a door bash with Bailey. Now Neil has allowed Bailey through. So Neil now drops down to 8th. Bailey moves up into 7th. Let's just go back up to our race leader, shall we? Grasshopper still out in front with Toten just behind him. Derg sitting in third. So the two Red Bulls, second and third. Maybe Derg can help Toten out here and hold the pack up. That'll allow him to attack Grasshopper. Fitzy in fourth. Then we've got Callum, Toby, Bailey, then Neil Farmack. Sideways George is in ninth with Kenny in 10th and Smith down in 11th. So what's happened to Smith? He really is not enjoying this Nurburgring Grand Prix circuit at all, is Smith. We're so used to seeing him up at the front. But long way to go. We're only on lap 2, so we're not going to write him off just yet. The Grasshopper still out in front from Toten. Toten trying to keep the pressure on him. The rain still falling as Toten tries to get into the slipstream of Grasshopper. Maybe make a move. Toten look like he's got a purple sector there, although Callum's got the fastest lap for 2:03. Toten having a bit of a look at the inside, but decided to back out at the last minute. Now then, has he got the run on Grasshopper as they go through turn 1? They're into turn 2, almost side by side. Grasshopper has just got his nose in front as he has got the inside line, but Toten will have the inside as they come through to turns 3 and 4. But no, Toten has to slot in behind Grasshopper again. Good, great racing from these guys. I'm surprised we've not had anybody smashing in to anybody else yet, especially in these conditions. So maybe the new physics are working well in the wet. Not for me, they didn't, but for these guys they seem to be doing well, as Neil Farmack has picked up a half-second penalty. He'll be cussing and cursing inside that car as we see Kenny down in 9th. Then we've got Sideways and Smith in 11th. So we're just waiting to see if Smith can do anything and get himself back up in the mix. He has made a move on Sideways, or was it Sideways just let him through? I think that was more of the case. Go Smith up into 10th now. But out in front, it is still no change at the top. We've got Grasshopper, Toten and Derg. Callum in 4th, trying to get onto the back of Derg. These guys doing a fantastic job in these conditions. On the intermediate tyres, you can see the tyres are starting to wear. I remember right before the updates, if it was slightly damp on the track and you had intermediate tyres on, they wouldn't wear at all. So yeah, the new is it the new dynamics they call it, is really kicking in on the tyres. You can see the brakes, they're glowing red hot on Derview's car as he tries to slow it down. Callum still sitting in 4th, Toby in 5th. Everybody spacing out a little bit now again. Bailey up to 5th. Bailey obviously looking for his second win after that great convincing win in race 1. They're looking for pretty much the same in this race, although he's got quite a fight on his hands because there's 4 cars in front of him that also want it. Big Bitsy and Neil Farmack recovered from his penalties, so he's going to want to fight his way back up, try and get himself on the podium. Oh, and Toten's gone through. What? Right, let's just go back then, shall we? Well, I've got to go back quite a way because Grasshopper was in front and I missed this, so let's have a look. Grasshopper out in front with Toten and Derview just behind him. Did Grasshopper make a mistake? Oh, he did! He did make a mistake! it was at turn 2, and he just carried on going round. I don't think there was any contact from anybody. The car just carried on going round. He just couldn't bring it back again. No, he couldn't. Basically decided to park up and well, I don't know what he was doing, but that's dropped him all the way down to 8th. So Toten now is our race leader, with his teammate just behind him in 2nd. So Derview really could do Toten a favour here. He can hold Callum up, he can hold Toby and Bailey up and let Toten get away. Maybe they're the instructions being shouted at them from the comms, from the pit lane. We don't know. But it is 1 and 2 for the Red Bull team. Although Callum is definitely trying to upset them by getting by Derg. He is putting the pressure on. Oh, and Derg's gone through. So Toten's had a bit of an issue. Let's have a look at this. It is all changing in these conditions. Oh, it was. Toten just went very wide and onto the gravel. And there he is. He's hit the gravel there. It was spinning to the left and onto that section of gravel on the left hand side. That's allowed Derg through, and Callum as well. Although Toten is fighting back. I don't think he's going to keep it. No, he's not. Callum on the inside line. Oh, and Toby's trying to get in there as well. So Toby's trying to nick this spot away from Toten. Toby just got his nose in front. He is on the inside, although Toten's going to be on the inside as they enter the chicane. 2 of you are not going to fit through there, guys. And Toby backs out quite wisely as well. Although Toten really does take the bumpy way over that chicane, which has slowed him down and allowed Toby through anyway. So that was really unlucky for Toten. In the space of a few turns, he's gone from leading the race down to 4th. So we now have a new race leader. Derview is now out in front. Callum is in 2nd. Then we've got Toby. Then we've got Toten, although Toten is trying to fight back with Toby and put him under pressure. These conditions really not helping these guys, although I think they're doing a fantastic job. Bailey's still sitting there in 5th, just behind Toten. We're on lap 5 of 15, so still a lot of racing to be had. As Bailey creeping up onto the back of Toten, just waiting for another mistake. Fitzy in 6th, Neil Farmack in 7th. Then we've got Grasshopper after his mistake. Kenny in 9th. Then we've got Smith. Smith with a penalty, seems to be collecting them this week. Probably pushing that Lexus a bit too hard. Although, as I say, the conditions are really not helping these guys, are they? And then sideways down in 11th. So Derg back up to our race leader, Derg. Let's go on board with Callum. And that's what he can see, staring at the back end of that Lexus. Rain pounding against the windscreen. Those wipers doing their best to clear away for him. Both get through the chicane okay, followed by Toby and Toten. So Callum will want to get a decent exit from 15, the car sliding all over the place, Callum fighting it. He wants to get in the slipstream of Derg as they cross the line to start lap 6. He's not going to get anything done here, is he? Trying to keep it nice and tight through that turn. Cones all over the place. Maybe they're going to decide to do some road work and they're putting the cones out early. Let's get the normal camera back, shall we? As we follow Toby sitting in 3rd. Toten in 4th with Bailey sitting in 5th, so they're your top 5 at the minute. Then a bit of a gap, then back to Neil Farmack. Not much of a gap, but there is a gap. The Neil in 6, he's got Fitzy just behind him, with Grasshopper coming round the corner just in the distance. Not many battles to be had at the minute, everybody being very cautious. The tyres are starting to go. We're on lap 6, so we're not quite halfway yet. And you can see in the bottom left the tyres are starting to go. There is no we don't believe there's a mandatory pit stop for this race, so if you think you can make it to the end, then you can go for it. However, if you feel that you need to change your tyres or stop for fuel, then obviously you will do so. So no mandatory pit, as I say. It's entirely up to you. It will be interesting come probably around lap 7 or 8 to see if anybody does decide to come in. So Dirk's still out in front. He's under quite a bit of pressure from Callum. If we go on board with Dirk, that's his view as he looks behind him. Keeping it nice and steady though. Toby looks like he might be trying to put a challenge in on Callum. It is all happening behind. Toby definitely pushing Callum now. So while those two are fighting, Dirk should be able to scamper away. Rain still pounding down. It's not letting up at all. As we go in through turns 5 and 6, still Dirk out in front from Callum and Toby. Down the hill towards turn 7, the hairpin. Now then, as Toby going to go around the outside of Callum. Let's have a look. He's still trying, isn't he? Toby now on the inside, and Toby's managed to get it done, so Toby goes through to take 2nd. Callum drops to 3rd. Callum slots in behind Toby. Is he going to have an attack? No, he's not. He's had to settle for it. So great move from Toby to get himself up into 2nd. Excuse me. He's now got his eyes fixed firmly on the back of Dirk, so he wants to catch him up. Toby can smell that number 1 spot. So Callum now in 3rd, Toten 4th, then Bailey in 5th. As we say, it's a long race, and there's some activity in the pit lane now. Toby's come in, Callum's come in. They've decided they're going to put some fresh tyres on. We did say it would be around about lap 7 or 8 we would see some activity in the pit lanes, and that's exactly what's happened. So that's allowed Dirk a bit of breathing space now. Dirk can just concentrate on his own race. He's not going to keep looking in the mirror anymore. He's got his teammate behind him in 2nd. Bailey now up into 3rd. Maybe these guys are hoping that they can do the whole race on the 1 set of tyres. Fuel is not too bad for them, so fuel won't be an issue. It really does come down to tyres, although as you look at Dirk's tyres, he is about 40% wear, I would say. And that's going to be the same for most of the guys. Maybe a bit more for Toten. If you remember, we did an interview with Toten a few weeks ago, and he was telling us he uses the controller, and the tyre wear is a lot worse when you are on controller, so it'll be interesting to keep an eye on Toten's tyres. Bailey sitting in 3rd. Neil Farmack has moved up into 4th after the pit stop of Toby and Callum. Fitzy in 5th. Grasshopper in 6th. Oh, and Grasshopper's had another moment. Let's just have a look. go back a little bit further as we are in turn 7 around the hairpin. McCoy's just come back round on him again. He just couldn't get it straightened up, and now he's struggling to get it going. Doesn't want to pull out in front of traffic. That was a good move from Grasshopper there. He made sure that he could pull out safely. He didn't just go straight out onto the track. It could have been nasty. He could have ended up taking Callum and Sideways George out with him, but he did well there. It was unlucky. The car just, it wouldn't straighten up for him, would it? Oh, and Smith. We've just caught him at the wrong time. Well, the right time for us, the wrong time for him. He's got up on the curb there. Bit of gravel. And that's just completely unsettled the car, and Kiss with Barry R. It really hasn't been his night. He'll be glad to see the back of Germany, I'm sure. So Smith now down in 11th, half-second penalty as well. That is so unlucky for him. Somebody who's having no such problems at the minute is Derg, out in front. He's still going, okay for fuel, tyres around, or the front left especially is around about 45-50%. Of wear. Bailey up into second. Let's just see if we can see where that happened. So this is as they go through turn 12 up towards the chicane. Bailey has a look up the inside, gets his car there. Yes, good positioning for Bailey. That was a good overtake, nothing that Toten could do about that. He left the door open. Bailey pulled alongside, got himself on the inside, and Toten had to let him have that second spot. That was a great overtake from Bailey. As I say, nothing Toten could do about it. What he can do now is concentrate on trying to get that spot back as they cross the line to start lap 9, and now go through turns 2, 3 and 4. Neil Farmack still sitting in 4th. Then we've got Fitzy, Toby in 6th on a fresh set of intermediate tyres. Same for Callum, fresh set of tyres for him. Be interested to see how much ground they can make up on the guys in front. I believe they are the only 2 that have stopped. Sideways in 8th, still going. Grasshopper. Owen Smith has decided to come in. He's had enough. He might just be retiring the car, or is he going to put some fresh boots on and have another go? Yeah, he is. So fresh boots on for Smith. Back out. Oh, and another penalty. He really has been collecting them, hasn't he? Oh, I feel for you. I really do. 3 seconds, that'll be pit lane infringement. He's already got a massive hill to climb to get onto the back of the pack in front of him, and with a 3-second penalty, that is race over for Smith. So out in front is Derg, going through the chicane, keeping it nice and tight. Into turn 15 for the 9th time. Not even considered coming into the pit, so it does look like Dirk might try and make it to the end of the race on these tyres. The same for Bailey and Toten, and then Neil with a half-second penalty as well. So he will definitely drop off the back of Toten when he serves that half-second. By the time you get the car going again, it equates to about 3/4 to a full second of punishment. But Neil's still battling hard with Toten, trying to get himself on the inside. Oh, Toten getting a little bit out of shape. That was a It's allowed Neil through. Let's just have a look what's happened to Toten. I think it is just the car slipping and sliding. He's starting to lose some grip now. Them tyres are starting to go. Neil managed to keep it a tighter line and gets his nose in front, but if Toten can stay with him, that half-second penalty will enable Toten to take that third position away from Neil again. Although Toten does look like he's struggling on these tyres, with 5 laps to go as well. So maybe he's going to have to come in and get them changed. I'm not sure how long the actual pit stop is. We should have timed it, shouldn't we, really? But it's enough to put Toten down the order. So let's just have a quick recap of where we are. Derg out in front. We've got Bailey in second. Neil Farmack third. Toten is fourth. Oh, then who's that carrying a penalty? It's Neil. He's got to serve his penalty, hasn't he? Of course he has. Now then, is Toten... No, Toten not close enough to take advantage, or is he? As they go through turn 12 up towards the chicane, Toten has definitely got the inside line, or has he backed out? I thought he backed out. No, or maybe there was a touch there. Oh, it's all heating up now. Let's have a look at this. Neil Farmack's in third. He's going to serve his penalty. You can see Toten just behind him. There, so Neil serves his penalty, back on the accelerator. Toten has got the momentum as he comes down the hill and then starts the incline then towards the chicane. Side by side. Well, I don't know, that was a tough one to call. I think there was definitely a touch, but it was 6 of one and half a dozen of another. I don't want to start pointing fingers. Or can I? No, I better not. A lot of controversy over that just lately. I think it was just unfortunate, one of them things. You can't go too wide into the chicane, and that's what happened. Neil finds himself down in fifth. We'll let the steward sort that one out. Toby in fourth, Fitzy in third, Bailey in second, and Derg out in front. Fitzy's made his way up into third, so oh, of course it was Neil and Gordon. Oh, as Fitzy takes a spin. Now what happened to Fitzy? I took my eye off the screen for a split second and Fitzy's facing the wrong way. Oh, it's the back end. It's just come round on them. I think it must be the conditions that's causing that. The back end has just completely come round on Fitzy, as we've seen it do. I think Grasshopper's come unstuck with it, and Smith as well. But Fitzy manages to stay in sixth. He's got Toten now all over him. Toten really struggling now on these tyres. Toten dropped down to seventh, so obviously he's had another moment. I'm not going to go back and try and find that. So back up to see what's happening up at the front. Derg, who has led for the majority of this race now, still out in front, still looking comfortable. The tyres will start to go on him though soon. You can see, especially the front left, he's has got to be sort of 60% now. Where? Same with Bailey, who's sitting in second. Remember, Bailey started all the way at the back for this race, having won race one. Has made his way up into second, so he's had a fantastic race. And you can see, if you look at the top right at the map, there is quite a gap between Bailey and Toby. So there is no pressure on Bailey. He can just concentrate on pushing Derg and trying to force a mistake out of him. As I say, we've got Toby in third, also not under a great deal of pressure at the minute. Just got to concentrate on keeping that car facing the right way. He is on new tyres, or newer tyres shall we say, as is Callum, has made his way up into fourth. So these two, it may have, the gamble may have paid off for them to put fresh intermediate tyres on. We're on lap 12. of 15 as Neil Farmack sitting in 5th, Fitzy 6th, Toten down in 7th. Toten still not changed those tyres. Maybe he is just decided now he's going to go to the end of the race on them. Kenny in 8th, then we've got Grasshopper, Sideways and Smith all on his own. Will want to forget all about Germany and the Nurbergring Grand Prix circuit for this season. So Dirk still out in front, although Bailey is getting closer and closer and closer. Let's go forward with Bailey. You can see we've got nothing behind. There is quite a gap back to Toby. So Bailey is concentrating 100% on getting in front of Dirk. He is getting closer and closer. He would really want to get in the dirty air, especially in these conditions. Now we saw Bailey do a fantastic move earlier on, I think it was against Toten at the chicane, but he's not going to do it this time against Dirk. Dirk blocked that one off. Although as they come into turn 15, Bailey may be looking at getting the cut back. All about the exit on this one. If he can get himself in the slipstream, maybe make a move before they get to turn 1. Or even at turn 1. No, not close enough, or is he? As Dirk opened the door for him. Dirk went very deep into turn 1. Got himself on the inside though still. Bailey looking for cutback. He's going to try and get himself on the inside, although you want to be on the outside really at this turn, because of this right-hander. And you can see Dirk got in there first, although Bailey seems to have got a better exit. Now the pressure's on as they go towards turn 5. And Bailey's got through. We're going to go back and have a look at that in real time, or in whatever camera mode you call this. So Bailey being very patient through turns 2, 3 and 4. At this point I think Dirk thinks he's safe, but as they go down towards turn 5, Bailey gets in front. A great move. So Bailey now our new race leader, with Dirk in second. Can Dirk fight back? Although the tyres are really, well, they've gone for both of them. We're on lap 13 of 15. These two guys are not only fighting each other, but they're fighting their own cars as well, because the grip will just about be gone in these conditions as well. Toby in third. I think he's just too far behind. We shall see. He is on the fresher intermediates, although they are starting to show signs of wear as well now. But Toby in third, Callum is fourth. Then we've got Neil, then Toten really struggling in the last third of the race with tyres. Picked up a penalty as well. Then we've got Fitzy, Kenny, Grasshopper, Sideways and then Smith. So up to our current race leader, our new current race leader, Bailey. Across the line to start lap 14. Dirk trying to stay with him. You could just see Toby in the background there. Toby on the better tyres of the top 3 guys, and it does look like he is gaining. Maybe Toby thinks he can get a little bit better than third position out of this race. He's going to push. So let's just, come on cameraman, turn around so we can see where Derg is. There, we just see Derg in front and Bailey, so Toby can see the two guys in front of him. We have about a lap and a half left, so can Toby improve on this third position? We've just dropped down the order. Callum, oh, it looked like Callum was drifting around the corner there. A lot of smoke coming from them tyres. Managed to hold on to it though. Maybe a bit of showboating from Callum. Why not? He's not under any pressure, is he? Toby with the fastest lap at 2:02. When did he get that? He got that on lap 9, so 5 laps ago. Which would be not long after he'd made the tyre change. It is all going to get very interesting for the last lap, as we see Bailey go around turn 15, looking down the start finish straight across the line to start the final lap. So Bailey in 1, Derg 2, Toby 3, Callum 4. Remember, Toby and Callum on the fresher intermediate tyres, although they don't look that fresh at the minute. Neil is in 4th, Toten 6th, Neil 4th, Neil 5th, Toten 6th, then Kenny in 7th, then Grasshopper, then Sideways George, Fitzy and Smith bringing up the rear. So back up to the race leader. Let's just follow these guys around now to the finish, because this is where the battle's going to be. Toby getting ever closer in each corner. Is it enough though? They're going around turn 6, Ford curve down towards the Dunlop curve, which is 7, and the big hairpin. Not really mention the names, they're all just curves. Except turn 8 is the Michael Schumacher S. Very big S, but this is it. Toby is just going through it now, the Michael Schumacher S, which is turns 8 and 9. Then you're on to Michelin curve, which is 10. Bailey going through 11. Worstheimer curve. Down the hill through turn 12, which is more of a kink in the road, and it looks like Bailey's got this one sewn up as well, so this will be his second win of the night. 2 out of 2 for Bailey. Fantastic racing from him. Started at the back, fought his way through. He stayed on the same tyres all the way through, so great tyre management, great fuel management. So Bailey going to cross the line. He can see the checkered flag, so that's right. Win number 2 for Bailey. Toby managed to get in front of Derg. Let's just go back and see where he did that. We knew that Toby was catching Derg. He was on the fresher intermediates, and it was just coming up towards the chicane. Now Derg entered the chicane first, but Toby on the fresher tyres, much better exit, which took him into turn 15, got his nose in front for Toby to take that second position away from Derg, but still Derg will be pleased with that, I'm sure. So Derg in 3rd, Callum is going to cross the line in 4th. Then we've got quite a gap then back to Neil Farmack, who will take 5th position in these terrible conditions. And well done to all of the guys for the display they put on for us. Kenny in 6th, Toten 7th. Sideways is going to come in 8th. As I say, great racing from these guys in these conditions. Grasshopper is going to cross the line in 9th. Fitzy around turn 15 for the last time. he's going to come home in 10th, and then Smith, as we said before, we'll want to forget this round and move on to Le Mans next week for the final round of the championship. So as I said before, hopefully you can join us for that. If you enjoyed these races, please remember, hit that like button, share these videos, and if you haven't already, if you could subscribe, that would be fantastic. I shall catch you all very shortly.